So again, you kind of go through your standard rundown of, do I have an integral rule for this? Is there a way to simplify it? And then in this case, both of those don't work out, so then we have to do our u substitution. Now, remember that when you're working through u sub, you want to have u and its derivative appearing inside of the integral. So to pick our u, we will pick cosine inverse of 2t because we notice that the derivative of cosine inverse looks very similar to this denominator. So our du will be equal to, now here's where we have to kind of flash back to Calc 1, where the derivative rule for cosine inverse looked very similar to sine inverse's derivative. And keep in mind there, your u was whatever was inside of the argument of the trig function, and then your derivative rule was u prime over square root of 1 minus u squared, keeping in mind that because you're differentiating a c function, dc negative, you do have to add a negative. So this is what we're going to use in order to get the du for cosine inverse. So our u prime would be the u here, so that would be a 2. The derivative of 2t would just be 2. We'll have our negative sign, and then over the square root of 1 minus, and then our u is 2t quantity squared. And then of course the dt added. So that's just applying this rule with u as equal to 2t and u prime as 2. Now to simplify this, we would have, and let me do this in red, we would have that du is equal to negative 2 dt over the square root of 1 minus, and then this square power would get distributed to both factors, so you would have 4t squared. So this is our du, and of course our u is up above. Okay, so now we have to make these replacements with u and du. All right, so starting with the original integral, let's just focus on the u replacement. This cosine inverse of 2t will now become u. We will still have the dt, we'll still have the square root of 1 minus 4t squared. All right, so that takes care of the u replacement. Now we'll go to the du replacement. For the du replacement, we need a negative 2. So we will need to multiply in by negative 2. We have the dt, and we have the square root of 1 minus 4t squared. Now, of course, when we start to multiply in by negative 2, we have to divide by negative 2. So we'll divide on the outside by a negative 2. So we'll have our negative 2 coming straight, or negative 1/2 coming straight down. And then all of this negative 2 dt over the square root, that is our du. So really we're just integrating u du. And to get that, we'll just add 1 to the exponent and then divide by the new exponent. And then our plus c. So this will become a negative 1/4. And then plugging back in our u, we will have cosine inverse of 2t quantity squared plus c.